Thank you both for taking time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it. Um,
Of
yeah,
course.
no, the show is very Max Headroom, as Emma was saying right before we got on this. It, but it's also, I assume, somewhat inspired by the joy of painting with Bob Ross, but a
Yes.
lot of other things. What are those a lot of other things?
Um, I would say, like Dumb and Dumber and Evil Dead and Secret City with Commander Mark was a PBS show I used to watch when I was growing up, which was a big inspiration. Pee-wee's Playhouse, stuff like that.
Yeah,
When,
definitely.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
no, go right ahead.
Pee-wee's Playhouse for sure is like I think that part of the catharsis of trying of even performing is like desperately trying to get comfortable with like who I am as a person. And when I was growing up as a kid watching Pee-wee's Playhouse, I was like fully liberated by, you know, Paul Rubens's drag. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, you can just be whoever you want. Like, whoa. So, a lot of it is feeling like let's just have fun and, be who we are but not self-abandon in the moment, I guess.
Well, like as much work as you've done for bands and with bands and things like that, what's it like for you to be stepping in front and being the performer for once?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I've been performing. I mean, I've been an obnoxious little guy wanting attention for a long time, but um yeah, I mean, I'm doing it more and more, and I think that the thing that's feeling good now is that, the therapy is really working, so I'm more comfortable with doing it, you know what I mean? Because it feels scary as hell to be out there, be in front of people and stuff sometimes, and um, the fear is that it's going to go horribly wrong, you know? So, I mean, and that's why editing is really great. And that's why, it's like all I have to do is talk for a couple of hours, paint, and then Alan's like, all right, let me make this good. Let me fix this.
As you're writing all of this, like I've like the first two, I've gotten to watch the first two episodes, right? And I love the fact that like there is like uh teaching going on. Like the first episode, we learn about like the work of Jack Kirby. The second episode is like your name dropping Algernon Blackwood and August Derleth and things like that. Like it's like a little mini course in weird fiction. Like when you're writing these, do you want people to learn as they get absolutely horrified by exploding and melting faces?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing is I'm an extreme nerd about these very niche things. It's like everybody's watching Marvel movies, and I'm like watching them because of my vast and intense love of Jack Kirby, or I'm listening to audiobooks, or like when I'm writing horror stories, I'm influenced by Clark Ashton Smith or like, Algernon Blackwood or whatever. Not many people are really familiar with it. So I'm kind of sneaking in my nerd shit in with the like, exploding heads and stuff. And how many people will actually look into this stuff? I don't know. Who knows? You know. But yeah, Alan's really kind about allowing me to like, share that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by everything. Everything is endlessly fascinating. So, I'm glad that you brought that up. That's cool. You got 10 cool points. Weird
You
hole.
Now, Alan, like, what are the challenges of taking a 3 hours of painting and ranting and turning it into a 10 to 15 minute episode?
Mhm.
Oh man, it's a mountain of work. Each episode is just like, condensing it down over many rounds until I get it to the length that feels about right. And then once I have it at that length, that's when I put in a lot of the like personality of the edit, the like quick zooms, the like visual gags, the sound effects, and but it takes a while. Yeah, it takes a
Yeah,
while.
it's I imagine it's I feel this empathy for somebody who has to sit through it, is like, oh my God, like listening to me fucking rant for like hour, like that sucks, dude. You know, because it's like knowing that, I'm like, hope it's okay. Like, are you sick of me yet? Like, hey, nah, just getting it whittled down.
Where are you shooting these?
We filmed them in Los Angeles at a studio, um, in a very small studio with some makeshift green screens. But yeah, if we get to do a season two, I told Kevin Fermini, who does a lot of the visual effects, he does all of the compositing and stuff, and I was like, if we get to do a season two, we'll shoot it on a proper green screen with tracking marks, so it's not a nightmare for him either.
Yeah, it's very much like we're doing a lot of I mean, I'm totally impressed with the production like level, considering we shot it in like a little shoebox, you know what I mean? And it's like these dudes are they're really doing some magic. So
I also like how it takes place in outer space, but every now and again we sort of show the makeshift setup that we have, like in little glimpses.
I noticed that in the first episode, and I was like, that's really tiny.
yeah. Yep, and we were all in there together for 7 days. But it was, it was like so cool was there were moments where we would, that we had actors come in for like some of the weirder elements, and people would come in, we would shoot the thing, and then they would leave. People would come in, shoot the thing, and they would leave. So it was like, I don't know, it really reminded me of what's possible with willingness and with people who are actually focused on doing stuff. I was like, dude, we could do anything, man. I just got drunk with possibility, while we're in there.
Did you, how did you plan out like the different pieces of artwork that you're doing for each episode? Like, were they thematic to like what you, a story you wanted to tell?
Well, they're definitely thematic to the episode, right? So every episode is like this one's science, this one's friendship, this one's, birth, rebirth, whatever. And so I would just think like, okay, what's a visual, you know, symbology of that? Like, what can I do that would actually go with the theme? Um, and some of them are really effective. Some of them are like, what the hell is that? Like the one with the time travel. What was that one?
The
I was
Morlock.
painting a Morlock, and the whole time I was painting it, I was like, dude, this is the dumbest. This looks so bad. So I'm like painting it, and I'm like, as I'm painting it, I'm like, oh, dude, this is the least good one, But I was like, whatever, it's fine. It's cool, like, so there's some that are badass, and I'm like, damn, that one's pretty good. And then there's some where I'm like, well, that's cool. The one that I really like is the psychedelic one, I think.
The
I think
Wizard.
it's that butterfly
Oh, the
thing.
butterfly.
And I was like, this one's cool because it's the weirdest, funniest one. And yeah, every painting is telling a little story, I suppose.
So, like, as you went along, like, what did you've talked about like wanting to hopefully do a second season? Like, what did you learn making the first one?
Yeah. Just that, just that, I guess what I learned was that we should have a better plan in place for second season, just because it's just like once we shot it, yeah, putting it together is just a lot of trial and error, I would say.
Yeah, it's like the filming itself was the least painful, probably. Like I think the editing and figuring out like because the amount of work that goes into each episode is so wild that I think And I know this too from doing projects where I'm like, it'll be fine. I'll figure it out. And then halfway through it, I'm just like, oh no, I have so much left to do. Yeah, this is insane, And so I think, yeah, having a better plan, but like also, I don't know, like I think it's kind of important for us to learn this stuff, but also to sort of see what we're capable of doing and being like, oh, we could do this. Like, think about it. Like you're kind of making like when it's all said and done, it's like longer than a movie or something. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy. Like we could make a movie if we want. Like it wouldn't have all it wouldn't be like this, but like we could do. I mean, it's just kind of cool to be like, oh, what's possible? And sometimes you have to jump into the deep end to see what, if you could swim. So
Are there plans for like the artwork featured? Will that be available like for as prints or anything like that for folks who are especially awed by them?
Sure, we could do that. That sounds good. No, I mean we had an art show. We had a because the first episode premiered here in San Francisco at the Indie Film Fest, and then we had like a big after party afterwards across the street at the Kilowatt, and we had all the paintings up. Everybody could see them and stuff, and it was kind of cool because people are like, "Oh, what are these paintings?" And I'm like, "Each one of these is an episode." And they're like, "What? Oh, crazy. Look, what's this one? That's going to be weird. So it was fun to see people react to a painting knowing that it was an episode of something that was as weird as the thing they just saw. So, yeah, I'm excited to see them. I want to see these episodes.
So the first episode is out now, and they'll continue to come out. Like, what's the best way for folks to be able to check it out and support the show specifically?
Yeah, on Etch's Substack, I think Etch has it. It's on and then I think that is the first one up on YouTube or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's
The
on
first,
YouTube. Apparently the first episode's available to everybody. So,
I think the release plan is it's gonna be released via Etch's Substack initially each episode following the first one, and then they'll end up on YouTube at some point after that.
mhm.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you both for taking time out of your day to talk to me about this. I can't wait for everybody to get to dive into this because it is the perfect sort of comfort watch if you like weird, wild shit.
Oh,
Um,
thanks,
but
man.
yeah, you're so welcome and thank you. And I hope you both have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you, Nick. Thanks, dude.